So now it's broadcasted. So so today we are going to do the Moon astrology. What it basically means that astrology of the country. First, we have to understand that how the astrology works. How the astrology works. We have to understand the very basic of the principle. How the astrology and timeline works. So Jigisan, Savisan, Hideki-san, any clue? What is the basis of the astrology?
For a country?
Yeah, for anything like the means okay for the country. What's the basic of the Hora astrology? So
I forgot.
okay, not don't worry, you can just listen today because it's going to be very interesting topic, a very serious topic. So if you forgot, don't worry, I will bring it up quickly. So yes, so the first point is that when something get born, something came into this world. Let's suppose like as a person, I have born on some particular date. So once I born, the first thing for the any entity is made by the mind. First, the mind gets created. Without mind, we're almost zero. We are not like the something movable. First, some mind is associated. Mind is what sort of the impression about something. So once we are born, our minds is getting created. How the minds is getting created? That based based on the moon. Moon has a very significant role here. That moon at that point of time was in what nakshatra? The nakshatra is nothing but the energy packet. Means it means the moon is at what mood at that point of time. So let's say I was born and moon was in the Adra nakshatra. So I was born and people has recognized, oh Jyoti San, okay, Jyoti came, Jyoti San has came. So when people recognize me, then people make the impression about me based on whatever nakshatra was there at that point of time on the moon. There's the Adra. So basically, once I come out of this world, I made that sort of the impression. Once when the mind has been created on me, as the time passes, it's gone repeating, and then this we call that our like the Adra. What was our nakshatra? That Lord of that nakshatra will become our first planet. So mine is Adra. So Lord of Adra is Rahu. Rahu is Lord of Adra. So what's happened that my first planet will become Rahu. So basically, I started from the journey from the Rahu, and of course there is some a definite cycle. After Rahu, Jupiter come. After Jupiter, Saturn come. After Saturn, the Mercury come, and so on. So based on that, our mind gets changed, and then I fall into this timeline or trap. Same thing also happened with the country. This was for the India, but India is already there, right? India was there like since many times, but nobody recognized that India. That was there long back when Ashoka was there, when Chanakya was there, when Buddha was there. Nobody know that India. People know India when the India came as a India as a country. Was the India got independence from the British. So this is what the India we know. So once let's say India came, so what was the nakshatra at that point of time of the moon? That's why when the India came and Pakistan was coming, so Pakistan was not coming as a Pakistan wanted to be more egoistic and he wanted to get born on one day before 14th of August, and India got on the 15th of August. But the Indian politician they have consulted the astrologer, which means which day is better, and astrologer told them that please don't get independent on the 14th, get it on the 15th. Because India also wanted to get the independence on the same day, but India got independent on the 15th, one day later, and Pakistan get one day before. In fact, one day. But the nakshatra was different. At the one day, it was changing. So the same way is also come to the Japan. So for the outside world, maybe the for the someone who are living in the Japan, maybe Japan is from the Edo time, from long time. But for the Japan, the people know about Japan when the Japan is when the Meiji period of Japan started, right? That was the time the modernization happened in the Japan, and then Japan came as a country. Japan was also there during the World War time. So the World War time also Japan is there. India at that point in time was not existent. In one sense, India was part of the British Empire. So for Japan as the modern Japan country, it has a things bit beyond like British even before World War. We have the Meiji period. That's the time when the industrialization happened, started happening in the Japan. Same thing with America. America is a very new country. Once America got the independence from the British, then America has gone some birth. Same is true with the China. When the China and Taiwan is separated and China becomes its independent identity. Okay, and of course Taiwan also consider themselves as the China, but China become independent identity. So the China is like the identity. So that's how the cycle started. So we have to. So this is called Hora astrology. Hora means the horoscope. That we call Jam Kundalan. But this theory of this astrology is called Hora astrology. Hayusan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, okay. So the theory of this astrology is called horoscope or the Hora astrology. So Hora astrology is the birth is very much important at that point of time. Also, the mostly the astrology of one country is mostly determined by the more or less like the government, like the how the government came, L- like the India got independence at 14th August 1947, but which place? India is a big country, so so we will consider that Delhi because Delhi was the place where all the politicians, everybody was there. They decided to become the independent of India. This is good with the Delhi and time with the 1947, and of course there is some time when it's officially declared and people all it got the independence. So based on that we make the horoscope, the horror chart. So
But
this is
Jyoti-san,
yep.
at the time, in case of India, you can pick up the date. But what about the time? You know,
Time is also
you
there because the time was there when the officially the all the document is handed over to the India, and there were time is also there when it's officially like India become independence.
Mhm.
So time is also there.
So officially that document is published.
Yeah. So the what's have happened that in the India because politician has considered the astrologer, and they have decided at the time before that we should get independent at this time, and it was somewhere very odd time in somewhere like midnight or something like that. It was not very like very like the good time. But all of us don't know, please get independent at that. Otherwise, it will be very dangerous. And Pakistan as a Muslim country, they don't consider much astrology and somehow they not good astrology to for the. That's why since Pakistan, since the beginning, is always having the misfortune is chasing them. Like, it's like the terrorist and now the Pakistan is going to the bank, like the bankrupt very soon. After 2 to 3 months, it will become the second country after Greece to become the bankrupt. So
So in case of Japan, do you recommend like so one is the World Second was finished. The Prime Emperor announced the end of the World War II, or published date of Constitution. Which do you recommend?
no, it's not constitutional. When the Japan have the legally like the prime minister, like the when the like our current system, we have the election government. We are not Japan is not ruled by the by the king. So when the emperor rules in Japan finished, and when our election, when people, when Japan is governed by the elected person, that time Japan's uh, uh, astrology starts. But but then understand, like as a country, it's become more like Japan as a political system. Okay, like it's more specific to the political system, like the government and all that. This is astrology of that entity, not like the whole country. It's basically entity of that, like the government. But because the government is affecting the whole country, so we can say it's the astrology of the whole country. But it's more specific. This is the astrology of the government. So what's happened that as per for the Japan case, very much interesting. Like Japan was the in 90s, 70s or something. Japan was at the time of the 70s and 80s. It was time at the time of the Jupiter. Japan was very extremely prosperous. People are still telling me those days. Like if we have lots of yen and yen is very strong, people have lots of money, things are going very good, industrialization, our share market stocks are very well, people was extremely rich, like at that point in time. So for that was the time of the 80s and Gurai. It is something. So because Japan was in the Jupiter, so things are very much prosperous here. But then the Japan economy got the bubble, the big economic collapse happened at the beginning of the 90s. That's the time when the economy takes a very huge turnaround. And since then, Japan was a bit struggling. It's still not that bad, but bit struggling. It was not at that prime time, like it was at the 80s and 70s. And why? Because then Dosei started. Like when I came to here in Japan, it was started. And at Dosei, at the when Japan was in the Dosei plus Rahu period, it is in 2011 Gurai. Then I predicted that okay, earthquake may happen very soon. That's a time when the Japan got big earthquake and lots of natural like big earthquake came at that point. And then Japan is now shifted from the Dosei to Mercury. After Saturn, the Mercury started. So Japan has many Mercury things. So now people are very much focused in terms of communication, English language, and in terms of the interaction with the multicultural to many countries. So Japan is going that phase. That's the Mercury. So Mercury just means the communication, business, like the interaction. So now in that period. Okay. So that's the condition of the Japan. So Japan economically, of course, because here the Mercury is bit also big. Sometimes not in a good transition and the retrogression. That's why some little bit natural calamity coming. Mercury is also going little bit ups and down, but not that bad. But overall, Japan economy is now pretty much more boosted, but in some different style. Like the before Japan was in the Saturn, and in Saturn Japan has a heavy dependency on the America. Because Saturn has a work as a more like the dependent and to become like servant. So Japan was on the depending on the America. So that's why still bad, it's still good, but now Japan has to break that psychology because now America is no more super powerful. There are so many countries can. So Japan has to align with that and go to the Mercury. and that's what Japan is right now. This is very small information, but very important information for the someone who is like a big politician or something. They can make the policies or something based on that, because they can see that okay, which policy will work and then which will not work. So, so with this, this with the kind of the very much helpful for the government and then policymakers. So, so that they can make the successful policy. On the other hand, let's suppose I will go to the Pakistan example. I see it because it's very interesting case Pakistan. Now Pakistan is in the Venus. So what's happened there? Pakistan is in the Venus. So all kind of the like the what I call like the militant this and that Pakistan has a before to do the militancy this and that. It will not work Pakistan. It will very much become dangerous for them their own economic. So the Pakistan policymaker who has to give up the terrorist mind, should not promote the terrorist and all that, because they are doing it very hiddenly. So, but it will not work because in the Venus it will not work for themselves. Forget, it will be much more dangerous to themselves than than to the others. Pakistan must stop like the terrorist like the terrorism and try to be more in a girl's mood, like more in a serving mood, rather than try to become like the okay, I'm the hero, I'm the main guy. No. Then then Pakistan will like the prosperous because happiness, prosperity also. But Pakistan has to become the second fiddle, and slowly Pakistan is now becoming second fiddle. Is big, over dependent on the China and that. But Pakistan has to stop the terrorism 100%. That's the advice to Pakistan. Then it can come out of this economic crisis, this and that. Whatever Pakistan is now facing. Okay. Any questions?
No. No question.
Now let's go to the India.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About Japan. You said that this time is Jupiter period, this time is Saturn period. This information, on what birth date is based? You said that the Congress system.
So this is the first government that Japan has made. Like the the end of the imperialism after World War II.
After World War II. Mm.
After World War II, when the Japan was not no more governed by the king, it was governed by the elected government at that point of time.
So 1945 in August, you mean?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
The 45 is first meet. In case of Japan, the constitution is May 1946.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, constitution is decided in the party in May 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Then after November 3rd, that constitution is published as a Japan constitution.
Mm-hmm.
But after 6 months, 1947 May 3rd, that constitution is actually in place. So
no,
even in constitution, we pick up which date we should pick up.
No, we we should not pick up the constitution date. We should pick up the day when the first prime minister of the first elected government came after the king's era. See, like the constitution always gives change. Like the we got born, and then we get our name ceremony, this ceremony, but we don't take the time of that as our horoscope. We take time of that once we are born. When we are child, we are without name, without rules. We just born, but still we take that time. So we have to take the time when the government, apart from the king's government, has been born. Like once the first democratic government has been formed, even without election, with election, that's Iba Kankinai. But when this is formed, okay?
So you mean first, the party is held after World War II.
Yes, yes. See, because that's the end. Like the kings before kings decided everything. So but that's one mindset. But that's the break. One mindset like that, like that mindset has been broken, and then now it decided by some different pattern. Of the head of the elected government has been deciding. So that's a different pattern. Like for the India, we take 1947, okay, August. But our constitution is made at the 26th January 1950, after 3 years. So for first 3 years we are ruled by the without constitution, like the constitution. So basically we are ruled by the ad hoc with one guy who is Daita we know is super popular guy. So it's been ruled by his like the one like this party, one party which was the most popular party. And then later on, our constitution was made in the 3 years. It took 3 years time to make our constitution, and then our constitution made in 1950. But we don't take 1950, and then legally we have the election, everything, and after 1950 this thing. But okay, but we don't take at 1950. That's of course the one of the important event and time. But um, but we take the 15th of August as our date because that's the time when India got independence. That is much more important date than once the constitution was formed. So you have to see the impact of the date. That is very much important. Like the once I was born, that was much more important than once some name ceremony happened to me. So that date is much more important than once I am born. So you have to see the impact. So the impact once the psychology of the kings psychology finished in Japan, and when the first government made after the king, that date we have to take. When this happened in 1945. Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yeah. So when this happened, like the first government.
I'm checking.
Okay. Okay. And anyway, so see that date is not like the. You have to understand first the how it works, and then we need to understand the psychology of the other country. Like for the India, I was telling to that. Yeah, India was soon has been in the uh, was in the sun period very much recently. Okay. And it was very good time India was here, but India was just like people have just like they have for me they have wasted the sun like the sun period. So, but then India is now in the moon period. So India
India
has
now,
to be yes,
India now is in moon period.
yeah, moon period, and moon has just started. So still like the moon still has a reflection of the sun. So India is now try to is very much shiny. Everybody is attracted towards India, like who's shiny India. But if you see India inside, there is nothing. Like for me, it's the same for last 20. 20 years. For me nothing is changed. But now people wanted to know more about India, and that time everyone saying good things about India. Everyone telling. Even there is something bad, but the people try to cover it up. No, 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 it's okay. So because it's the like the overall impression of the India is good, but the India should really like increase this, like the really like the cash this impression in a good manner, because when the bad time will come, then it will be very much difficult. But government, they don't even think. They just okay, everything good, even without doing any work is very much good, right? So the government and all the, but the point is that India is in the sun time has essentially finished, and that's why India, like Indian Prime Minister, India is now trying to become very much like the equivalent to China. No? People always try to compare China and India in that sense, because population is very emerging market, this and that. Uh, so so many investment this and that. But but at the same time, India has to do some groundwork also to actually to encash this inflation. Otherwise, it will be difficult to maintain this inflation.
So, where is moon situated? Uh, where? In which house?
I don't remember. I need to see because I for, forget
Mm-hmm.
make the chart. I mean, maybe next class I will show you the exact chart.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make it,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what I remember based on my
Mm-hmm.
memory. I am telling.
And すいません。About Japan, you said Japan was very good in Jupiter period, but
Mhm.
where the Jupiter is situated is very important, I think. So
Yeah, that's the
in
right.
Japan, the Jupiter was very good position. Uh,
Mhm.
can we say that?
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yes. Would be very good for the Japan, like the Jupiter. I will in the next class. I will give you the one short summary. Na?
mm-hmm.
This class I have not prepared the exact chart, but this class I wanted to make make you feel that how
Mm-hmm.
this chart works basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the one impression that okay, so if we understand the impact of this is the astrology. Like okay, let me give one more example. The one another powerful country called America. That's a powerful country. So America is now in the Mars time. So So when the March time came, then our President Trump came, because when people are asking, okay, okay, who will win, Trump or Helena, whatever, Hillary, sorry, Trump or Hillary, who will win? So I said Trump. For me, my answer was very clear and quick. Oh, how can you say that Trump will win? Hillary is going to win? I said, let's say, is America is going to be in the Mars period, and then Trump's very much behaving like Mars person. Fight, war, like the suppressing Muslims and that, like Iraq, and like the very much anti-Muslim war Iraq, and it's all like the we have the Mars no traits. But Hillary don't have. Hillary is very much diplomatic. So Hillary maybe a good chance when the Obama came, like the when the moon period was there, when the sun period was there. In the sun period, Hillary husband was there, Clinton. So that was a good chance that he need to take. Uh, uh, Obama took the moon period. He was a bit lucky guy, I will say, in one sense. But anyway, and then he took the whole moon period. And then, but then time changed. Now it's Mars period. So it was very obvious that Trump will come, and then Trump actually won. So my prediction that was very much correct. But basis of my prediction was not that I like Trump, I don't like him. No, it was really on the astrology. So what next? Because Trump came and then he's a Mars time, so he will definitely be involved in some Mars period. So Trump's is Mars doesn't mean only the fighting, but Trump is very aggressive. He's not diplomatic, not at all. He's just aggressive, super aggressive, and that also has a bad impact on the market, like the stock market, share market, because they don't know that which direction you will go. You go with the fight, you go with the economy, because the market only grow when there is some pattern. But because of Trump, so America is very much important country in terms of the economics. So because American policy determine like dollar and in whole everything we either dollar is the like the currency that is the whole the trade is happening like in the dollar. So that's how market become uncertain and many like I'm working in the financial company and Nomura also have the huge loss, huge huge consequence of loss. Why? Because it's not able to determine that the. But anyways, it's time. We have good time, bad time, ups and down time. But anyway, we have the Mars period for the America, and what will happen after Mars is the Rahu.
Yeah.
So the America is going to become more aggressive, not going to calm down. Now, okay, now is good aggressive. Other they will become the bad aggressive. So we have to be very much careful. The American. Okay, okay. So so we, so we So this is how the hello. Yeah, this is how the we have the like the time is going for particular country and it's called a Moonian astrology. But understand one the degree of aspect of is this is a country. Country means the government. So we can say okay, that's it. We know the whole astrology of the world. No, it's not true. We know the astrology of the government. That's the ruling of the country, but that don't determine everything. There are the many astrology and many things that don't respect this country, that country. For me, like for the gods, for the demigods, for me it doesn't matter. Like this is India, Pakistan. For them, doesn't matter. For this is not so much important for them. And then they are determined by their own way of the things. That's why nowadays there are many natural calamities are happening. Super, like it's become like very much frequent. And did all of you observe this?
I thought
Right?
it's geoengineering.
What?
I thought all this was geoengineering.
What is geo engineering? Means?
Cloud seeding, that kind of man-made weather control. A lot of that is there's technology for that now.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that happens because of man.
Yeah, of course. Of course, of course because we as a human have disturbed a good amount of like the nature. We have really disturbed a lot.
Hmm.
So so other nature is trying to balance it out.
Okay.
Yeah, that is true. But you can see that the number of the natural calamity, over to earthquake, it has nothing to do with that. Okay, I can understand the cyclone or typhoon, but what do earthquake? So many earthquakes is happening, and like the big floods, even in India now, the Indonesia happen, America everywhere, Japan. I think this month many typhoon has come. So in every country, lots of natural calamities are like I can remember that frequency has been increased significant is a lot has been increased natural calamity. Don't you think so?
Who are you asking?
No, anyone like the don't you think so that the natural calamity frequency has been increased?
Yeah, there's a lot now.
Yeah, it's lot.
Hmm.
So that's also like the as for our stars also some big changes happening in the in the in the universe also. So maybe in the upcoming 10 years, 20 years, At 25 years, you can see this natural calamity will become much more frequent.
Mhm.
It has already become frequent. Now that this frequency will become increase a lot. So there is a high time that, as you rightly said, that we should save our nature, our earth. Too much industrialization, like for the China is doing too much pollution, the river pollution, air pollution, even in the India, like the if you go to the Delhi or something is very much difficult. All the air is getting like the polluted because of so much cars, so much this, so much like the industry. Unnecessarily, people are not like like doing it correctly. So it's high time that people has to little think on this point that this is not just simple economy and earn money. No. So where people have to change the psychology of this called industrialization. Basically industrialization concepts started, I think, when in 90s or 80s something, right? Yeah, in the 80s something, like the in the we have the like the British like the colonies are there. Everything was very fresh. There no much pollution was there. So the British and this European country, they have started to do the industrialization, factory making goods. This before everything was the handmade most like the most of time. Before also we have the industry, but it's more about the handmade. To making this factory, and to in order to make factory, you need more labor, more resources, and then you need to burn something. Then some smoke will come out. So this typical industry features has been it's not super old phenomena. This is the I think 100 or the 150 years old phenomena we have this called industrialization. Why? Because everything was fresh, but the nobody was thinking about the future. This is how the karma works, because people are not thinking about future, and somebody has decided to do the industrialization. Then this plastic has come. Many people did the research, and this plastic has come. So now we don't even need iron or something. Everything is made by plastic, this and that. And now that we have very much polluted the environment, then nature has to be like the balance it out. Many cyclone, this and that is coming. So it's high time that this psychology has to be get broken. So you can see within 20 years, 30 years, and then already people are moving towards the organic farming. People don't want you to use the so-called the fertilizer to become this. No, because it's all chemical. So feel the people is already moving towards the organic farming and all that. So people are going back to the old things. Why? Because this is just one pattern was there. Industrialization and like the fertilization, this and that, use chemical, use everything this and make your life better. But of course in the beginning everything comes with a mode of passion. If the day nothing and then you have to start, you can just imagine yourself. I will just imagine myself. Let's say one like the like the 150 years old back, na? How they will feel. Okay, there was nothing. I am just inventing the light. Someone inventing the telephone, and someone inventing the steam engine. Like this. It was because nothing was there. So it's for people are working in the mode, okay, like mode of passion. Okay, let's do something. And then after in the 90s something, America and they have invented even much more like plastic and this nylon, this and that. So but now we did too much. Now we have iPhones and much more complete, like the complicated things now happening. But it's not at the free. It cost of something. Cost was the nature somehow. So now many countries like before, China was not into this race. Only the European country was into this race. So now China also thought, okay, why not we? We will become the biggest supplier of the things. So for China has a huge like the population, and China does all the industrialization very badly, but mm, mm, but not with the proper planning. So what's happening is a big issue in China, the like the pollution, Beijing and then Shanghai and other cities super polluted. So the India also thinking the same thing. Okay, if the China can do, then then not, so then don't we? So India is also not thinking about like the plants and all that, and just try to do the industrialization. Now the another Delhi, Mumbai, they have already become super polluted. You know. So point is like that this pattern is going on. We call this is the mode of passion pattern. So the so so uh, so we have already disturbed the nature. So nature has to like the balance it back. Otherwise, it just if you disturb something, if you put the stone on the water, so of course the water waves will come. So the water will try to adjust according to your disturbance. So this is now what's now happening. Okay, any questions?
No question.
So, so, when you are doing the like mundane astrology, you need to consider the every aspect. You have to become very much like the realistic. You need to analyze every country, its a decision, and now what's happening, and then how the planets are working on them. So then you should be able to predict the things very correctly. Okay. Now see what's happened. Okay, go like the go to the much more larger view. Okay, people say now. Okay, now that I'm going to the much like the much more back. Na? People say that in approximately 3,000, there are the two calamity happen. One, sorry, the 5,000 before when the Krishna was there, when the Bhagavad Gita was spoken. At that point of time, our world was okay. Our world maps were a bit different. People say. So if you see the our okay, let me open the Google Map.com. Okay.
Jyotisan, 3000 BC.
Yeah. Krishna was the 3,000 like the 5,000 years before.
Mm-hmm.
5,000. So it's of course it's before BC.
See.
Okay. Okay. I am the sharing my own screen. Just a minute. Okay. So here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the our map, right? So consider our map. It's a bit weird. Don't you think? Let me open to much more maps.google.com. Right. And the finally is opening in the globe form. Okay. So like the somebody was researching that how this form, na? Why this caption C is just in the middle of somewhere, right? And why this black sea has been formed, right? Don't you think so? It's happening. It's not like it's like the why we have Black Sea. Just in the middle we have one big ocean for Black Sea, right? Or for the example, why we have the such a huge space bet, between the such a like the why we have such a thin line here to big continent. This is the South America. This is the North America, super huge, super big, right? But they are joined by it's a thin line to the Panama. What's happened? And then from like America and this Japan, there's a huge ocean. We have only we have Hawaii in the center, right? And then we have Japan here. Why we have such a big gap? So
There used to be a land named Atlantis, Romania,
correct.
or Mu.
Yeah. So
This
if you,
Such
so
continent was there.
correct.
Mm.
So basically between this area where we can see the Hawaii area, okay. So
Mm.
there is supposed to be like the huge land like we have Africa. So with the same sort of size, we are going to the huge land, and Hawaii was part of that, and all these small ice like the Iceland was part of that. Even like the Okinawa was is also part of that. Hello,
Pyramids near Okinawa. Did you know that?
pardon?
There are pyramids underwater near Okinawa.
Yeah. Underwater in Okinawa. Yes. I've heard it's all part of one culture. So what's happened that in the 5,000 years ago, the big calamity happened. One of the biggest calamity happened in the 5,000 years ago, and India is also like the whole the Krishna's area here, Dwarka has been also with the summers. So that has its own pattern that due to our our map has made in such a way that it's already reflect that some calamity already happened, and some part went inside ocean and some part is outside ocean, and that's how our map is not very smooth. Like we have like this very island, and we have the thin connection of this Panama uh, and this Istanbul. We have very thin between the Black Sea and this Mediterranean Sea, this and that. So that calamity happened the 5,000 years ago, and and what it says that okay, our our current nakshatra like the seven star the Sapt Rishi, it's finished one nakshatra in the 100 years. Okay,
What is it? What is 100 years?
so the Sapt Rishi we have the seven stars. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the Sapt Rishi also moving. So if a Saptarishi moves one nakshatra in 100 of the years.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Saptarishi did his full cycle,
Mhm.
so then some period has been finished. Because it's all 27 nakshatra is has already finished the full cycle.
Mhm.
And people say that this full cycle is now going to be finished very soon.
Mhm.
Like now is the period now this full cycle is going to the finish very soon. So
Mhm.
people say, although I don't very strong that, but I also believe there may be some cases that some big natural calamity is also going to happen in the 300 of the years
Mhm.
from now. So from now kara within the 300 of the years some natural calamity is bound to happen. Hello.
Mhm.
That will be the similar natural like the calamity when it's happened when this your Black Sea has been formed, and when this that the big like the island on this like the whatever Suzuki-san was telling this big has fallen in, like has been merged inside the ocean. So 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 that the on the same sort of things on the same scale the same sort of the natural calamity will happen, the big one, in the 300 of the years. Not now, like of course we will die before that,
Mm-hmm.
but within the 300 of the years, many changes is going to happen here on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where we are the 300 of the years from now. So this is the time of the 700, 1700, right? Still not bad. We are time of the king's time, and is called the colony time, right? Like the British are making the colonization time a bit little bit the industrialization time was happening. That the 300 of the years from now, before, right? So
Mm-hmm.
after the 300 years from now, the big natural calamity will happen, and very huge scale. So it's basically at the same scale whatever happened before, when all these lands basically merge inside the water, except few. We have the Hawaii or Okinawa or some like the Fiji or the Easter Iceland happening. People say that into this island people are very much technically very much advanced. Like people over here, hello.
Yeah.
So the people over here who are living on this part of land are are very advanced technically. Like like technically means at the machine age. Like so that's why it has also we have influence in the Japan. I sometimes wonder that why Japan all machines works very perfectly here. Means means of course there's a good maintenance, everything we can say, but still people, if you go to the other like the countries, especially in the India, machine has stopped working almost. Hello, no. So the machine has stopped working in the India and in some other countries.
Mm-hmm.
But why in Japan machine works so like the very much like the perfectly? What's the reason?
That machines
Yeah,
work well
yeah. In the Japan machine works very well. People are hugely dependent on the machine, and it's also working. Everything is working here. Right, right, na?
because Saturn orders it.
Yeah, of course the Saturn's factor is there, but this whole land is very much machine friendly. This whole land. So the
Oh.
machine is the mechanical energy. Machine is what called the mechanical energies,
Mm-hmm.
like the some machine, electronics, some wire, some things here very much perfectly working here. So in the Japan, because this is part of that big Iceland, Japan is part of that. That's why here all the machinery here works very perfectly. And then Japan is also very much like the machine sound, like all the Japanese products are very highly sounded everywhere because it's very much reliable. That's one of the part. India machine things doesn't work much more perfectly. Even if you buy the high quality machine, you do something fuse happen, something will burst. You don't know what's happening. If you go to India and then if you live here for the few months, you will know exactly that what I'm talking about. Many person from Japanese, they also go to India and they say that why it's not working. Even you put heater and some sound coming, always you have something is not very much smooth.
Uh-huh.
Always something get become heated.
Mm-hmm.
You always have like the machine doesn't work very much properly. In the India, some fire happened. Yeah, this is true.
Uh-huh.
See, in the basically in the astrology you have reason for everything. Like the it cannot happen like the like in the astrology we have to be usually have this curiosity. Okay, why this is happening? Why this is not happening over there? So you should have the understanding and reasoning for the everything. You should not just be okay, this is just happened. No,
Mm-hmm.
everything is happening. There is some logic behind it. See, Japan, we don't have any ever Shinkansen or the bullet train accident. It's highly technical. It's the highly, risky in one sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the Japan is running Shinkansen like the bullet train. Last time I went to Osaka, every 5 to 10 minutes we have that bullet train.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a once. This is not the normal thing. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere we have bullet train accident. China,
That
big.
means you have a strong third house, right? Japan has a strong third house is machineries and.
Yeah, a strong third house, and also Japan's energy also suits with the mechanical energy. See, there
Mm-hmm.
are two things. One is the continuous astrology. This is one aspect of the understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that we are going to the much more higher up. Now that rather than country, we are thinking about the culture or the continent or lands also lands value. Okay. Country like the how we determine the country astrology by the government. Basically, this is the astrology of the government, not the country. But because government data decide everything to the country, that's why we say it's country astrology.
Mm-hmm.
But is it technically is astrology of the government?
Mm-hmm.
But now we have to. This is one aspect of the understand the mundane astrology, and that part we have covered it. Okay. Now, okay, now that we have to think one more layer up, the nature of the lands, and then energy, because this is also affect the things around. Okay. So the as a keep for that you need to go long back, like like the I went to the 500 of the 5,000 years back and try to understand of the Japan lands no nature, like the what kind of energy here lands consume, because if on the same land the same kind of person are living for long time, so land also consumes its own energy, and the lands also have its own way of the behaving. कि, when I say land means it's not only the land, the whole like the environment of that place. So the Japan was that area that is merged inside the ground was very machinery area. Heavy machines are there here. Even on the other part of the world, let's suppose India, it was not so much machinery at that point in time. Even let's suppose Krishna time, I have not heard there was big machine here. Krishna time people are just wearing some, like how the sadhu wear, just some like simple dhoti, kurta and some mala doing chanting and mantra. But there was no so much complicated like how they know iPhone, they have no like Star Wars sort of thing. How the Star Wars movie is there. There was nothing was there. But at that point in time, also people can do the Brahmastra. Brahmas is called the atom bomb or the nuclear bomb. So people launch the Brahmas just by the mantra. So from the mantra, people can launch the nuclear bomb. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
So people have this kind of technology, but still not much like the machine based. People are just like sadhu doing yoga, doing something, but they can do big things just with like the without helping the machine. But even at that point of time, like this part of land has a huge machinery effect. Like the kings or something, they have the very big machine, the gate, iron gate, and then there like the electrification was with the current was there, like the current you means like the electric current, and people are very much expert in terms of the like the mystic science at that point, like the at this part of land. So since five thoughts of it, that's why like this sort of things is very comfortable here in Japan, like the technology and this and that. Is if we don't even some big typhoon happen, big calamity happen, we don't have much, you like the disturbance out of the so much like that, like the electricity or something like that, because the land supports this sort of energy, not from now, since many period. But this sort of energy doesn't been supported in the India. So if let's suppose same typhoon happen in the India, what will happen here in Japan? Last month, many fire happened, and many natural calamities will happen. Many. Why? Because this is not supported over there. So for as a astrologer, you need to also mark these thing. Okay, one is to the know the astrology of the one country. Country means the astrology of the one, like the government. Another thing is that you have to be much more higher up, and then you need to understand how the energy is formed at some particular places. Like America is also part of that. America person is also part of the same and energy advancement. So the America also uh, the technical is like the energy is also supported, but not like Japan. Japan or some other place is almost errorless. So we have to understand this point very well. Like the when you are traveling to India, so don't be so much dependent that you are dependent in the Japan. Don't be so much dependent on that. Maybe you put your iPhone charging in the India and other days it stopped working. There is very high chance like the there. And many time happened to me. Like the for me many time happened. And that's why I keep one or two iPhone charger with me because one may fail in the between. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, so George-san, that you mean that Japan's merit about the mechanical thing uh, is affected by the energy, which was from the ancient continent. You
Yes. Yes.
mean that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So the ancient continent was very big. The
Mm.
other part was sunk under the ocean,
Mhm.
but the Japan islands remained.
Correct.
Uh,
Japan
you
has
mean that?
remained and yes, Okinawa, Hawaii, all this
Mhm.
part has been.
But
But
Hawaii
yes. Yes.
is not so mechanical place, but the Japan is a very
Yeah.
mechanical
Yes. Yes. Yes.
country. That
In
means the part of the old continent was very mechanic.
very mechanic. If,
That part.
yeah, that part correct.
Mhm.
So
So,
and that's why this like the Japan is the biggest car like the car manufacturer Toyota, Nissan. In
mhm,
the in the car industry, Japan has been like the no one can compete even. Like
mhm,
like we have Toyota, Nissan, Honda, Suzuki, so many big car and motorbike companies like the Kawasaki. Also
mhm,
on the electronics now we have Sony, like the Panasonic, Toshiba, this and that. We are
mhm,
Japan is very well advanced on this because here energy supports on this kind of thing. Unfortunately, iPhones are different because iPhone also have the software part. It's not just like like the hardware. iPhone has a combination of the hardware plus software. iPhone or whatever like software that part is different. That's so if but the still iPhone and something is also will be super successful because at the end of the day is hardware and is the electronics. So like this sort of thing, the energy has very much balance in oneself. And Japan is the biggest users of the electricity. You know, like the per person electricity consumption, Japan is the highest of the world. I've heard. You know? Here in every road, everywhere we have lots of electricity has been used. So if you're even so much using of electricity is it also means that the electricity power, of course, that's also governed by the Saturn. I'm saying Saturn is also Saturn and Mars both are the lords of this electricity. I think especially Mars. So if that's also governed by them, and then has been very highly used here and very comfortably situated. It's not like become like fire and some forest fire happening like you can see in the America the big forest fire happening in some other countries as well. But Japan is never is the case because these things are very well situated here. So that's the one of the beauty of the Japan. Okay. Any other questions
No, no questions.
or any comments?
Is it just that factor that's affecting it? Are there other things that play into it? affecting how a country like Japan would be so strong in machinery? Is it just because of that ancient energy that was infused into it in the beginning?
Ancient energy means they become our like the we call it called wish like technically we call it called wish devas like the local gods here. Uh, that's the one of the very important aspect we need to
Is
understand.
it like 90% of the reason why Japan is so strong in machinery, or are there other factors in play here?
That's the main fact. That's that's the one of the primary factor. Other factor, of course, is other factors are determined by them. People are very much honest, very much systematic, very much like the managed, and the other factors are all derived from that. That's also helping.
I find it pretty interesting because I have a very if you look at my chart, you can tell that I'm not very mechanically inclined, and it really reflects in my chart.
Mhm.
And I guess that doesn't happen for Japanese. Most Japanese are pretty adept.
No, it's like it don't need to be that you have to be like it's just energy, like the how the energy supporting to your mechanical thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm I'm not saying that you have to become expert on the mechanics thing. No, it's not like that. How that you're using it and being expert, and then how you become the like the thing of that is a different thing. That's why I can. That's why I know so many mechanical things, but the my energy don't able to use that mechanical thing
Uh-huh.
with energy. So if you read them, like I'm not saying that the average Japanese are super expert in the mechanical thing, but they are very comfortable of the using the technology. Super comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If the same thing we are doing it, I am doing here the hangout very peacefully, very nicely. But the same thing I can do it India for me is not be so much smooth. I okay, while I'm talking, something will get broken. Something there's so many like the when the in my ISKCON when the mic guru Maharaj whenever he speak his mic and always mic it tan, toon, tan, toon. He was- every 1 year he changes the mic. And whenever he just mic, always mic is not working. And in the India, mic is not working is a very common phenomenon.
Uh-huh.
People, even for the biggest event, na, like like this time, like Putin came, I was just hearing one conversation. Just recently, Putin came to the in New Delhi, and then he was speaking something, and then his mic stopped working, and two times happened. It's such a big event. He was the president of some country, and mic is stopped working.
The mic doesn't work.
And then finally he told that somebody has tempered the mic so that I will not speak something. So maybe the conspiracy of mic is not working. But of course nobody did because but he get like the welcome to India. And first his mic is not working.
Is
This is
that
super.
Modi?
I pardon.
Was that Modi?
Now it's the Modi and Putin was there. So
Uh-huh.
when the Putin was trying to speak, mine stopped working. He got what to do. two to two to three times happened. So he
Sorry.
finally said that and it's very high profile event. No? It's not like some local weird
Uh-huh.
some yeah. I have never seen in Japan that Abe-san is again
Yeah, that never happened.
and then and then Putin finally said that okay, looks like somebody did the conspiracy against me that his mic is not working. So the point is that this is very common in the India. Mic is not working, and in like
Only
in
an
the ISKCON,
astrologer can laugh about that.
pardon? No?
Only an astrologer can laugh about that. Nobody else knows that.
Yeah, like they see the very small thing, but but for the astrologer, nothing is small. Everything has its own importance.
Uh-huh.
Everything like the we have to become very good observer. Anything is happening, there is some reason behind that. Nothing happening without nothing is happened without any reason. Everything has some reason behind it. And it's a very common phenomena in the India. If you live there a long time, I was always wondering that why mic is not always not working. It's forget my local event for the Putin also not working. It's for the big event. It's also like no. Sometime in the India happened like that. There was one big politician. He was speaking on the stage, and 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 the fan fall down on his head. He, he very scared. He's
Funny.
okay, funny. He said that, oh, somebody did the tantra on this fan, and then Mother Durga has saved me. He finally told. So I have never heard such thing in Japan that like it's everything, you know.
That's
Even
why
though
the Indians are so tough. They're used to all these things
yeah,
happening.
yeah. We are a bit tough because we don't rely on anything like
Yeah.
anything can fail at any point of time. So you have to be very much alert. But but I have observed that, like for example, like the Japanese, they are very much assured. Nothing will fail. Everything will work. So like
Uh-huh.
so like this assurity they have inside in built heart. So sometimes
Yeah.
I'm wondering that if how much you are so much sure, like everything will work. So if people just follow the rule, like in the traffic, like in the Shinkansen, so the driver of Shinkansen is not thinking everything. He's just thinking, okay, I'm going. I have to follow this signal. If this is red, this is green, I have to go. He's not, and then everybody is doing his part and everything working as a system. Of course, of course every individual is doing their job properly, but as a whole system, there is also someone is looking for that, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the one person cannot so so, so the energy that's looking the whole Shinkansen system that's going every 5 minutes is also supported to this technical things, right?
Right.
So this is what I'm talking about. In
Uh-huh.
the India driver we cannot work like that way because they know it will not work because they know okay, okay, this is good, okay.
Mhm. And you Indians better not build a Shinkansen.
Yeah, better not to. So now we are making Shinkansen with the Japanese technology. Let's see
Right.
what will happen. Some accident will definitely happen.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
I am 100% sure. Some accident will, although it's been monitored by the Japanese person, this and that. Maybe less chance because it's Japan, but still.
Right.
So
And
the
China
point,
messed up too. They have a lot of accidents.
yeah, China also we have lots of accident. Every country has accident in the Shinkansen except Japan. And then Japan Shinkansen, it's not like one or two Shinkansen we have. We have Shinkansen like local train is been we have Shinkansen every day. So
Yeah.
we have huge volume of Shinkansen moving here and there,
Uh-huh.
and with the zero accident. And then Japan is a Ippai typhoon, Ippai earthquake. It's not like very like Ippai natural calamities is also same, but there's still zero accident.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Mm-hmm.
I,
all the employees doing the work very properly, but the energy who is looking for the whole system is also working very much properly.
Mm-hmm.
Jyoti-san,
Uh,
people highly developed a mechanical mind from the old continent in, incarnated into Japan. Can you say that?
what?
And the people in old continent
Mm-hmm.
who were very highly developed mechanic mind
Mm-hmm.
uh, incarnated into Japan.
Yeah,
Can you say that?
yeah, into this part of the Iceland, into this part
Mm-hmm.
of the people, they are, and this is reference that Krishna one time like that. This is reference that this part of the places are very much mystical, are very much mechanical, like they're very much technology based,
Mm-hmm.
like 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 that. Yes. See, every country like for the Egypt and those countries, they are more like mystical power, like the tantra power, this and that. Japan don't have this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Japan much more like the mechanical. Japan don't have much tantra power, but the Japan has more like the mechanical power. But the other country like this Arab countries, this Syria, all these countries, they have by tantra power, this and that. No? Nah,
Mm-hmm.
that's the different one. India has more like the adhyatma power, like the just do mantra, everything will manifest like this. If you more on the words power India has. So if your mind will getting very much disturbed, you are not much peaceful, you're to depression, go to India is the best place.
Mm-hmm.
Psychic place, you are wasting your money. Just go to India, go to Vrindavan and some the Himalaya, this and place, you will be super kinky. You have no other problem. No problem. Because India is expert into this area because the energy is like that. So the Indian energy the most focus on the how to make your mind like the detox free, you know, like this and peaceful and out of depression. No much take easy laugh. Even the Indian people they are super poor, super bad condition, but actually everyone is happy. Na? Sometimes I'm also wondering that okay, we don't know what will happen to the next. Na? Super poor, super bad condition, but no depression, no more suicide. They are just doing their thing, something eating and just happy and like this, easy. Okay, God will take care of the next. Na?
Yeah.
So we don't believe on this. So if you have if I like the depression, if I mental energy, India is the best place to heal yourself. That's why India we have many ashram, Babaji, this and that. They are opening and because this sort of energy is there in India.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not mechanical energy. We have the and even it's not tantric. It's more this sort of energy we have in India that can heal your mind, make you peaceful, and then you can really like the whenever I come from India. When I come to Japan, I feel that I have a power in my hand. If I punch someone, he will fall down. I also feel, literally, I feel like this. If I like the physical power, if I mental strong, mind very much strong. If I physical power, I feel that okay, I can punch anyone. My means no more depression like this, like free. Nah. So like this sort of energy India has.
Yeah.
Means so it's for mental energy. So the every country, so if something is connected to the healing or this kind of Ayurveda or the medicines, that's why Indian like the hospital industry is doing very. People are very much surprised at why the Indian hospital industry is going very fast. All the hospitals in the India is very high quality, like the hospitals. No? People coming from the America to get treatment in the India, the hospitals and all that. Why? So because even doctor will give some simple medicine, but the energy is such a good that it can also help you for the healing. So the India has this sort of the energy, like the healing energy, or the or or what I call like more like the mental energy India has. So every country has its own importance, and based on that they grow. So as a astrologer, we have to become very much analytical. We have to find out, and this is a research topic. We have to find out why this is happening, why this is not happening, and something is happening many times, and something become pattern, and then you should find out the reason behind that. Okay, so I will finish it here if there is no more question. And next class I will make the chart. We can study because today was the puja, so I was a bit busy on for last 2 days. I'm doing puja. Yesterday I did 3 to 4 hour puja. Today also did 3 to 4 hour puja. I was not having time to make the chart. But next class I will continue the mundane astrology and what Savisan says that the medical astrology, that how the stars affects your body and all that. Also try to be focused on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. See you next Thursday. Ne?
Next Thursday.
Is next Thursday? No. No, next Thursday we don't have any class, right? On the 1st of November.
No
1st
class
of November.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so because next Thursday we have the Yasumi. So the 1st of November, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
You.
Bye bye. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Bye.